Guys ready? Stream marker. Don't laugh. Hey guys, new video here. This will not be a build guide. This is just gonna be some of my thoughts about, it's gonna be, instead of the how, it's gonna be the why I did certain things and what I think, what I've learned on this build. I recently hit level 100 on this build, and I didn't really die between between 98 and 100. I didn't really die. I died like once to a big Slurpee boy boss at 300 stacks on a T16, and I was purposely trying to face tank it. So it is pretty tanky. This is Corrupting Fever Glad. If you hear the acronyms, CF, right? CF means Corrupting Fever. Played on a Gladiator this league. Very meta. Very meta. You might have seen it around. You might have heard about it. You might be leveling it right now. You might be excited about the build. All right, very quick pros of the build, real quick. When I was, I'm gonna run this like white map while I show you guys, okay? Because you'll see the gameplay. So you go on a map, you hit the Corrupting Fever, and usually when you're in here, your left click will be Enduring Cry. So right after you hit the CF, you're gonna Enduring Cry, and it's gonna fill up your life, okay? Don't hit Corrupting Fever if there's mobs attacking you, okay? Just don't do that, because early on it'll be kind of scary. But you go on the map, you got the Corrupting Fever up, right? And then you're just gonna, you'll notice that I bleed the mobs and they all die, right? It's got really nice clear. So the pros is, whenever you hear someone say these days, like a map or a build is all league start viable, all types of player viable, meaning if you're a noob, it's fine. If you're an experienced player, it's fine. That can be kind of scary these days, because you never know the build guide or the video or the forum post. You don't know these days if it's good, right? Because maybe the number was just changed on the video to like 3.16 instead of 3.13 or something. And so you never know if it's something's truly budget friendly or league viable, right? Start of league viable. And I'm proud to announce that this build actually is not exaggerating in any way when people, you know, praise it for its league start viability and it's like starter farming clear and stuff like that. It's actually checks all those boxes. You can start it if you're starting the league today, right? Because all you really need is the you need to do like the library quests, and then you need to do, or the lily quests if you want to wait that long, and you just need 4 links, right? Which is a little bit hard to get on a duel list early on with the right colors. That is tough, but that's not really something that stops you from playing the build, right? So I do like that it's very true to what people say about the league start viability. So that was, and it's fun. It's kind of it does have a lot of buttons, but it's kind of a one button build in that once your CF is up, right? You just right click, you use E, whatever hotkey, and you don't need to press anything else, okay? But enough about that. I don't want this to be a build guide. I just want to talk about like why I'm doing certain things, because you can, if you want to look at Rutu's guides or Grimrow's videos and stuff like that, all those like leveling build guide intricacies can be found on those content. But I just want to talk about like why you do things, because you might see somebody like, I want to use something else. Can I use something else? Or, you know, you're doing something different there. Like, why'd you pick this or that? Or why are you not using this? And I'll go over all that, okay? So let me just, as you can see, it's pretty casual. You just run around, you hit this, and it's pretty tanky. Okay? It's an armor-based build. So I'm going here, just like, ooh, I wonder if I can kill this boss, this white map boss, right? Oh my god, look at that, no single target, whoa. White map, by the way, got June. Okay, so that was a little bit of gameplay, and it will be like that all the way through the yellow maps. If you get a tabula, you can go into red maps, honestly. But on 4 leagues for league start, you'll go through like all the yellows extremely easily, okay? So pretty standard stuff here. If you want to go super defensive, you can take this instead. This is one swap you can do to get more block, and if you have versatile combatant somehow later on, it's really good. But I took this because I just want more damage, right? You take a little bit less damage. So first, talking about the tree, this is pretty standard. You get a lot of nodes here from a natural instinct. I would recommend this. The changes I made after I hit level 100 is I got these mediums. I would only use these mediums if I were to like, you know, want some more boss damage, or if I was a high level and I was like, you know what, let's just sacrifice some of that life because I don't care about leveling. But while leveling, I took out all these points and I basically just took life here. You take life here. There's life in here. There's life in here. A lot of the points on the build really is like, in terms of ordering, right? Like you can look at leveling skill trees and stuff. And I would recommend this, right? Because you're farming hard with this, you have to think about how much time are you spending in maps versus killing bosses. And since you're not killing bosses more than maybe like 0.5% of your time played, you should just go for the mapping stuff first, right? Make yourself comfy in maps. So after you get your clusters, all your points are pretty much going to go into life, right? Because it feels good not to die, and you don't really need more damage because this explodey is based off the mob health, right? So if you don't know how this works, if you're like, because one question, I'm trying to think of like new player questions, right? One question I get asked all the time is like, how are you clearing with KB, right? Like some people think it's a KB build, but it's not really a KB build because the KB is only to apply the bleed and it has good coverage, right? Good projectile speed and range to get the gratuitous violence. And so basically, if a mob is killed, it will do a massive amount of damage scaling off their HP, right? So it blows up the entire pack. And you have 50% bleed here, okay? And 50% is enough. Later on at level 99, I did try something. There's a bleed node right here. I took 30% extra, so I went from 50 to 80. And so like the KB is kind of like this, okay? So the KB, it like shoots out the proj, and then there's like secondary explosions around, okay? Like randomly. So you actually have a lot of like overlap and a lot of hits, but if there's like a reduction map or something like that, I felt like with like beyond spawning and like there's so much stuff spawning in every one of these maps that I wanted a little bit more bleed. I didn't just want 50%, even though 50% is enough. Once again, I went to 99 with 50%, but I want a little bit more, and 80% felt good to me, right? Because I think there's like a support gem or like a MAME or something, or no, vulnerability. Someone said it was like 20% bleed chance, but that's only on the second hit. So with 80%, you pretty much get to 100%, right? Which is really, really nice. So this is how KB's damage comes out, and the coverage is, once again, good enough at 50. But you could try that with like your level 98, 99, or like level 100 points if you're still playing it then with extra bleed. Other than that, there's not like really too much you can do with the tree, right? Best nodes would be like defensive damage hybrids, like Master the Fundamentals and Battle Hardened. I would say get these as your first two. You could roll them with like Reforged Fizz on the cluster. Clusters are like, I think 70C or something like that. But if you want to buy them already rolled, they can be like, I don't know, 1, 2 exalts, 3 exalts if you want good secondary stats. So that might be a little bit expensive, but you don't need the cluster jewels until you want to like start pushing like harder red maps and stuff. Okay, so that's why there's that. If you don't care about life, if you're a cast on death portal player, I would say actually you can drop a lot of life and get more damage on the tree, more clusters. Okay. Other than that, the masteries you can look on the other people's trees and stuff. Let's talk about some different stuff now. Okay, this stuff is boring, right? You can look up tree theory and all that stuff in all the other guides. Let's talk about what we're using and why. So on this build, if you notice, I have a molten shell, and it's a whale molten shell. I think it's super important to have the whale molten shell because I have it linked with a duration and a CWDT, right? It's at level 4. Level 4 supports a level 44 or lower, so you can get the VMS to this level. And so like pretty much you're almost always gonna have this when you're getting hit, and it's important because in this league I would ignore the Reddit threads about like, you know, oh, I'm getting one shot out of nowhere. Okay, because here's how it's gonna happen. Your life is like this, right? And then what's gonna happen is you never just like go from 100 to 0 these days with any amount of defenses. Okay, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be fighting mobs. You won't be able to see the ground because there's too much stuff. There's scourge lights on the ground. There's scourge mobs. There's delirium fog sometimes. There's like, you know, lightning and like fire going over. You can't see shit. So what's going to happen is like you're going to not notice something, right? It might be a volatile. It might be like some cascade of stuff, right? Maybe a barrage. And you're going to get hit for like maybe like this much. And then right after this, you're going to be like... And then it's going to be like bam, 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 bam. Okay, that's how you're going to die. You never go from 100 to 0. So in between here, you have a VMS if you want to press that yourself, right? Because it's going to be up whenever you want. You're going to have the molten shell automatic, right? This is auto, and that will eat like, is it like 30%? I forgot what the percentage is. Let me check for you. It's 20%. Wait, it's up to 20% armor, but 75% damage from hits. Okay. The VMS I think is like 30 something, 38%, right? So it will eat up some hits. And then this thing right here is also paired with this. So this is an iron flask. I know it's kind of a meme. I was using a sulfur flask before for a little bit of damage because like it's kind of ZDBS on bosses, which I'll talk about later. And I was like, you know what? Do I really need the sulfur flask in the regen? And I found I didn't really need that, right? So I put in this iron flask. Like ward is pretty funny. Ward is pretty funny because the ward is okay. Here's how it works. Let me go by memory. damage comes in. It then hits the molten shells. Okay, this is the order. This is important. Molten shell is a percentage reduction. Okay, this is, and it works for all hits for this iron flask ward thingy. Then it hits the iron flask. So you're going through multiple reductions, and then you hit the iron flask. And remember, you're all using Skin of the Lords, right? So when I hit this, I have 400 ward. Okay, and that's pretty much always up because this refreshes and it's cast when charge is useful. You can also do use that end of flask effect, whichever one you want. So because of that, you're going reduction, then minus that hit on the ward. So I think the ward was really good, and I would switch this if you really don't want to die and you're pushing for 100. Okay, so I really like this flask. Okay, it's kind of a meme, but try it out if you don't have like any necessities. Maybe maybe you have onslaught somewhere else. Maybe you don't need the silver flask. Who knows? So that's how you are gonna die. Other than these like small hits that will kill you when you get like barraged by these small hits, you will not really get one shot in Delve. Now, I didn't go that deep in Delve. I went to like 200. My max Delve is only like 210, I think. I can show you right here. I can't pull up the chart with Nico. Where's Nico Nia? Where is he? Right here. Let's view the subterranean chart, right? So I didn't die in the Delve ever, and I've gotten to 229, which is compared to previous Delve, it is a little bit further, but that doesn't really matter. So you'll find a lot of cities and stuff. So you don't die to like the spikes in the crystal Delve. You don't die to really maps unless you're like standing still for way too long. You can't see anything, right? Once again, the barrage of hits will kill you. So it's very safe against maps and Delve, and also on Cyrus, I can actually tank the beam with my current level of Chow's Res. If you want to get some Chow's Res later, I have this because I'm putting on my mapping belt, but when I'm using a headhunter, I have 65, okay? And that allows you to tank the Cyrus triple beam. It's pretty cool. So very tanky there. Another change, the reason that I am not using a Blood Rage, right? You'll see a Blood Rage, or if you're the bow version. We'll get to the bow version. Chat, we'll get to the bow version, okay? Hey guys, which one's better, KB or TS for this build? There's two variants of this build, if you guys don't know. There's a Kinetic Blast version, which is the better version. And then there's the Tornado Shot version, okay, which is the worst version, objectively. This is not my personal preference. This is just facts, okay? And I'll talk about why later, because this is a huge part of this video. Remember, this is not a guide. This is just talking about why I chose to do certain things. And I'm going to be as objective as possible, okay? So, Blood Rage. I use Blood Rage until like level 98 and a half probably, and it's nice, but Blood Rage shares the same problem as like Fiery Ground if you don't have like Aberrach Pantheon or something, is that if you're going to use a headhunter for farming maps really fast and you want to do that, Fiery Ground and any kind of degens like the Blood Rage will take away your ES. Okay, so I found that like, okay, I'm stealing 4,000 ES, I'm stealing 8,000 ES, but it'd always be 0 because the Blood Rage will tick it down and it cannot regenerate. Okay, and that was super annoying. And because I have such good defenses, okay, the having that extra few thousand ES at all times, right, on average at all times, was a huge defensive layer that I didn't care about 12% damage or attack speed, because with the headhunter you get way more than that. Okay, so that's why I took out the Blood Rage. You get, if that's if you are using headhunter, you can take out Blood Rage. And of course, if you're using a bow, you can just get Frenzy on kill or whatever, on a quiver or something. So that's why I went with that. Other things that you'll see here, I'm gonna go over this real quick. This is, sometimes I get asked why Blood and Sand stuff Flesh and Stone. Flesh and Stone is like a little bit worse than it was before, but also it takes more mana, I think. So this is just a very cheap mana reservation thing that allows you to get challenge charge. You have to have, in mapping, you have to have Sand Stance on because of this, right? I don't know if this needs to be explained. This is more like very basic, right? But yeah, so you change the Blood Stance for bossing if you need more single threat. If the fight's gonna last more than like 10 seconds, you switch to Blood Stance basically. But at all other times you need Sand Stance, and then so it's not really for the benefit of this of the actual like melee stuff. It's for the challenger charges. Okay, the determination is really good because the Watcher's Eye has some defenses, some really nice defenses around determination, and it's an armor based build. If you look right here, I got 28,000 armor. If I hit this thing right here, I got 37,000, so pretty good there. So you have to use determination. If you want, you could try to get an alt quality of this for evasion. I was thinking about that, but this was way too expensive because I was like really poor in the first week that I was playing this, and that thing was like 4 exalts, so I didn't want to get that. But it's good. It gives you the extra evasion as a small percentage of your armor. Or sorry, armor, it gets a small percentage added as evasion. Pride is a weird one. Okay, Pride is super weird. In fact, I think if you're mapping, if you have another preference for this reservation, this 20, it's like a normal 50%, right? You can actually take this out. And the reason is, so KB is ranged, right? It's got huge projectile range. It's got really far projectile range in one direction. And if you're not near the enemy, they don't actually get that scaling up damage taken, right? It's kind of like a helmet enchant, like they take 12% if you're nearby. But it's a weird paradox. You know, you want to be ranged if the enemy's too scary, but then you don't get the pride. And if you sit closer, you're gonna do a lot more damage. Okay, if you don't have like these other like abyssal jewels and like other forms of more damage taken, but you're gonna be in danger, right? Because you're standing really close. So it's one of those weird auras. I don't really like pride. It just like, it makes sense on the build, right? Because more multipliers taken are massive more multipliers that are separate from like getting a more multiplier on a support gem, right? They're completely separate as a multiplier. It's crazy. But it's just a weird one. But I guess, you know, I face tank a lot of stuff in maps because, you know, you have a headhunter or like you're just going really fast. So that's, you know, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. And War Banner is good because like you just read that first mod, right? It's just a kind of like, you know, you can just imagine you have like an Intimidate if they're nearby. Now, Male Violence is also a different one. Male Violence has the pros is that it has Watcher's Eye capabilities. You can be immune to poison, bleed. You can do like 22% multi, which is what I went with. And it also has duration. Now, you might be like, wait, why do you need duration, right? Duration sucks. Well, I mean, 20% duration on everything is actually not bad, right? 20% duration on things like this, like when you yell, 20% on things like a molten shell, right? It like, let's say you pop your molten shell and nothing can kill you because you've killed everything. And then that just means that extra little couple seconds, right, will let you get to a next pack of mobs and tank some hits. So that's good. And then also it applies to things like this. It applies to everything that's duration, basically, right? Corrupting Fever. I can't tell you how many times that Corrupting Fever falls off because Cyrus is like blink, 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 blink. Can't get that bitch. Okay, that guy sucks. And I can't tell you how many times it falls off and you're like, ooh, if only I had a little bit more. If only I had like 1.4 seconds more and I could have casted enough life to like, you know, keep it up, then it does help. This is like, if you just look at how many duration tags there are on your skills, it makes sense, right? So I do like Male Violence. In fact, I like it more than Pride. Okay, this is a huge question. Okay, so a lot of people ask, why and when do you use Stormbrand? Stormbrand is like kind of same rules as Blood Stance. If you're gonna spend more than 10 seconds on a mob, then you can pop this down, right? I also like to pop this down in stationary content, like in Delve. You're not going anywhere. In a breach that's like in a closed area, you're not going anywhere. In a ritual, you ain't going nowhere. You can have 3 of these down, so you can just put it down. It applies Corrupting Fever, right? If you're really new, Corrupting Fever is any hit. So the Stormman goes tick 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 tick, and you can have 3 of them, and there's right, like chaining and everything, and it applies more Corrupting Blood, right? That's usually why. So single target, or if you can't move anyways, you might as well plop it down while waiting for the Delve bosses and stuff. So that's pretty nice. Do quality it, but because I believe normal is casting, right? So Stormbrand ticks faster based on cast speed. So if you quality it, then you can keep it level 1, but if you quality it, you get cast speed. So it's just a little bit more Corrupting Blood application there. I mean, I have the Helm enchant, so it's kind of cool. And then also that's why I've linked a faster casting here, because the faster casting will apply to Stormbrand. So more ticks when I'm running for my life or something, or when you're early on, you might be a little bit squishier. So it's just like a little bit extra tickage, which will help on the single target when your single target is initially bad. And also the faster casting of the Flame Dash when I'm at my first charge instead of my full charges. You know, I don't have any cast speed right on the tree or anything like that. Well, I have a little bit, but what's gonna happen is like, you know, that last Flame Dash, you're like, boom, and it's like super slow, super annoying, bro. So that's why I have that there. Okay, these gem choices might be a little weird. Also, the Enlightens are a little bit weird on here. The reason I'm not using level 4 is because I'm poor. Okay, and Enlighten is extremely expensive, and I dropped one myself on like, you know, day 2, so I'm using that, and this one was like pretty cheap early on too. So that's why I'm using those. By using those, I have enough mana. You have to have enough mana for Enduring Cry. Blood Rage uses life now, I think, so that's not a big deal. But you need enough for Blood Rage and what's the thing called? Oh, I have this on D. 7 mana here. So make sure your mana is enough for those 2 things. Now, another thing, if you don't have socket pressure, okay, if you have the sockets, you can life tap if you want. Life tap is like I think it's a 300% multiplier. You could do that, but it just takes up a socket, and I felt that the other gems were more suited to my playstyle. Okay. So that's that. Let's see. Like, I like duration, right? So I have a duration here. If you have enough mana, a Jolem will also do you pretty well. You can do a Chalice Jolem for extra Fizz reduction. You can do a Stone Jolem for regen. I believe it's like 108 or something at level 20. Get a 2120 Anomalos, because that's 20% effect, and then a little bit more, so you have a lot of regen. Okay, regen's pretty damn good. So you can add in a Jolem if you have the mana. I believe a 20 Jolem costs 57 mana, or something around there, right? So at this point, I wouldn't be able to use it, but if I took the reservation for, there's a War Banner reservation somewhere around here. Yeah, right here. If you take that, I'll have 60 something mana, so then you can. So there's a little tweaks to like get your mana right depending on what you use, and last resort, use a a life tap for those things if you want, if you have the sockets. Okay, that's how you do it. Now, what else am I doing that people might ask? Oh, the Reap. Okay. So if you want to be really lazy and just use your KB and your Stormbrand and that's it, you can actually take out the Reap, right? If you have a 4 red chest. And you can put in a life tap, but the life tap is 300% modifier. So even with reductions on the tree, this Corrupting Fever at 2.3k, right? Like if you look at my life bar, right, it doesn't look like that much. It's gonna, I can't cast that, right? I can't cast that. So you need an Amulet Craft that you get from Unveiling. I forgot what it was, but it's called focus something, right? It's like there's no cost when you focus. Where is it? Right here, right? It's 3C craft, pretty good. You get that on the suffix and you are good to go. And you can pop that, hit the Corrupting Fever, put in a life tap, and you'll be okay, right? It's a little bit annoying because it's 2 buttons. It's two buttons, an extra button, not very fun, but you can definitely do that, and it's like 20% more damage. Then you don't need to cast the Reap. But you know, I have my thing taking the Corrupting Blood with the Stormbrand. You know, I hit the single target boss with a maim from this thing right here, and then I spam this, right, with blood charges that I gain, right? And then it's a little bit more. It's really annoying. It is really annoying. Okay, if I could do this again, I might try the life tap version, but I feel like having a focus suffix and not being able to get like more resist or something is kind of bad, and it's really annoying. Okay, and if it falls off, and for whatever reason, if it falls off in the middle of a hectic fight, and like, you know, you can't press your thing, if it falls off and you don't remember to focus and then press it, you're gonna die. Okay, you're gonna die sometimes. So it's like a little bit weird for me. Okay, so that's why I went with Reap. You get used to it, and also look at the range. Look at this is ultra wide, right? Like look at this. This is crazy. Look at the range on the Reap. I first thought that like Reap came out from your body, but it's actually like huge targeting. Like look at that. Okay, Cyrus over there, you got him. Okay, that's pretty good. Another thing that you're gonna want to look at here is the way you do your bars, right? Like you're gonna need multiple buttons. So this is just how I've done it. You can have some of your auras here if you want. Like if you die, you got like these 5 auras, right? So I talked about the Molten Shell, talked about the Reap, talked about the Wide Stormbrand. Enduring Cry is nice. You could go with all quality Enduring Cry. There's some nice features there, but this one is duration is the default quality, so it's not bad, right? Remember, you go to map, you hit this, you hit your Enduring Cry, you're back at full, and this auto cast on the left click. It doesn't take much mana. It's pretty nice. It is pretty nice. You get some endurance charges, right? Pretty sick. Definitely recommend that. Very nice shout. Now, if you have this on left click automated, just to make sure you get this, because without this, look at this animation, right? If I take this out, look at that. Oh my god, look at this. If I'm running around and I'm like killing mobs and I'm like attacking, and then watch this, it's gonna come back off cooldown, right? And it like stops your character. You gotta do that. Don't do that. You gotta get this. Okay, get the call to arms if you're gonna use this. Left click. Okay. Other things, I'm gonna now talk about some of the things I really like about the build, and then some of the downsides. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. All right. Let me talk about like some things I really loved about this build, because if I take a build to 100, it means I'm enjoying myself. Okay, I don't play builds if I'm not having fun. And some leagues, you know, I don't get any level 100s because it's like, you know, why? You know, there's no reason. So I really like this build. I love the leveling. Once you get your, you know, your Act 4 spell sling going with like Sanguinate and you get your Corrupting Fever, it felt real good. I don't know if it felt better than the Chow Slinger from back in the day, right? But it felt really good. Everything was smooth, right? Like from Act 4 all the way into like the level 62 or whatever, when I finished the campaign, I was having a great time. It looked cool. It felt good. It got everything done. There was no pain in the build. Okay, nothing. It was just like, And then the moment you get your Pantheon, right? You're like level 50 something. You get this thing. and then like, oh man, the pops, right? So much clearer. So I love that. And then also in maps, I was very surprised at the ramp up from like white to yellow maps, right? Like tier 1 all the way up to tier 10. I was like, it feels the same. That's crazy, right? And then, you know, if you have like a 6, like you have a Tabula, Skin of the Lords, whatever you have, you know, you get into the red maps, okay? You get in the red maps and you go, wow, this clear is also pretty insane. Like usually, let's say you're playing ED Contagion. Let's say you're unlucky and you made some bad decisions when you were a kid and you ended up playing an Essence Drain Contagion build at the start of the league. I'm sorry. That sucks, man. Essence Drain Contagion how about we call it minus 10% XP build to Scourge, okay? You ain't doing Scourge. You playing EDC Bane on Scourge? No, you ain't. Okay, maybe Bane because you have a little bit of pops, but still, no, you ain't. Anyways, so let's say you got unlucky, right? You're gonna notice certain things happening when you hit Scourges and like other like too many league mechanics at the same time in red maps. But with this build, the pops and the way it kind of like, you know, spreads all the damage, it feels good. So very, very nice ramp up on this build. That is some of the best ramp up I've felt in a long time. And you don't have to, if you just want to farm like, you know, whatever maps you want with like medium juice, it doesn't actually take that much brain power either, right? It's like your upgrades are simple, right? Your upgrades are easy. They're simple. There's so many people playing this that you like at this point you can get some cheap gear. That's what I really loved about the build. And it just like, it can go fast, okay? It can go fast. You can run so fast, Diane. And that is the pros. Okay, that's the main pros. Another thing I would like to talk about, okay, is the Gladiator charges. So if you don't know how this works, okay, this is like pretty much a more multiplier. So if you add any kind of movement speed buffs to your character or increases, it'll be multiplied by 0.2, right? That's crazy. You'll definitely feel this. Okay, so that's like, I forgot how good this feels. I think the last time I used this was like Cyclone or something. This has been a long time. So the Ascendancy is also beautiful. I don't usually play Gladiators, you know, but this league I'm somewhat of a, you know, I'm kind of like smitten with like, you know, the Gladiator shit. All right, let's talk about the bad shit. Let's talk about the bad, because no build doesn't have any bad stuff about it, right? Like even if you talk about Ore Sacker from Delirium, we're looking at big cost, big PvP in the trade and stuff like that, right? Let's talk about the bad shit. All right, here we go. What you're gonna find, and this happens to everybody when you first start playing this build, if you're not like, you know, if you don't have like a lot of money or something, you're just like league starting or like, you know, you're just a casual player, you're gonna blow through all the white and yellow Conquerors, and then you're gonna hit the red map Conquerors and Cyrus. And let me tell you what's gonna happen here. You're gonna wonder if like you don't have you're like, is my Corrupting Fever on? And it will be on. You're gonna be like, am I in Blood Stance? Oh, I'm in Blood Stance. Okay, so I'm my charge. I'm taking fast. I'm stacking. Is my Stormbrand out? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Why am I doing no damage? Where's the damage? And everyone's gonna laugh at you. Well, I mean, you probably won't be group playing, right? Because you probably won't be streaming either. But you will notice this like it's like it goes from the best feeling build of that we currently have for like just like league starting or whatever into complete garbage. Like you're gonna be like, you better hope you know the mechanics, okay? Like if you don't know the mechanics of like I don't know, Conquerors are pretty, unless you don't know the Conqueror basic mechanics or the Cyrus mechanics, you're in for a bad time. You will deal with so many phases of mechanics that you probably will make a mistake because you'll be so frustrated. Corrupting Fever's falling off all the time. You're gonna hit Corrupting Fever, he's gonna beam you afterwards because you're already at half health. Oh my god, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be a nightmare. So I would say that for bossing, now bossing's not even that important, right? If you were to skip Cyrus, right, because you can sell your Cyruses on TFT and stuff like that, and you skip your Conks, you're not really losing on that much, okay? And once again, as long as you can kill them, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. You don't need that much damage, right? But it requires a knowledge of the Conquerors and the Cyrus if you want to do that. And then the invitations are extremely tough. I would even say that early on, you do a red map. Let's say you do like your 10 mob invitation from Malvin to get some Atlas points. Even that can be scary. Okay, you got Asha Suncolor jumping on you. You got the Malachite tentacles. You know, you got Comb jumping on you. You're gonna be like, ah! Shit's crazy, bro. So anything that has an orange boss, the more the worse. Okay, you spawn some Beyond. Okay, it's going to be a little bit scary. It's going to be a little bit scary, right? And you're going to be running away. Your pride's not going to work because you're too far away. And anything with an orange name can be quite scary. That is the biggest downside, and it is so noticeable because it's that big of a drop off. You go from clearing the screen, right, even in red maps, until the big boys show up, and you're like, oh my god. So it is worthy to know that you will feel it, and there's nothing you can do about that early on. Okay. Other parts of it is like, although everyone will say it's a tanky build, and it is very tanky, okay, extremely tanky. Early on, like if you're like around level 90 or something, and you're not going like armor on your gear, and you don't have like, you know, as many life nodes and stuff, it might actually feel kind of squishy. You might not believe it's tanky until later. So you do need to be able to get levels. Okay, so you need to know how to like, you know, map and atlas and add juice so you can level up really fast. I'd say like around level 92, I still felt pretty squishy. But then like the moment that I got to like level 94, 95, then it was like, damn, I'm real tanky, right? And then so that's kind of nice. It just becomes tankier with like the levels, and like all your points after you get your clusters are into like life and like life armor resist, whatever you want, right? So that's just basically how it is. Okay. And that is the downside, right? Because you will be told the entire time that's going to be tanky, you're going to be fine, but early on you just need the levels. Okay. So don't be like doing white mass forever. Okay. So it farms really hard, no single target basically. And now let's talk about tornado shot. Okay. So what are the differences? You got these tornado shot Andes right here. So there's like a little line right here. Okay. We got, what does tornado shot look like? Like this? This is tornado shot. And this is, what is KB is like this, right? All right. Tornado shot versus KB. This is a huge question. Which one should you go? Why did you go KB? Why didn't you try TS? Why should I go with this one? Which one's better? Which one's worse? Why in hardcore stuff? Okay. If you're going to play this build, you're going to start with KB anyways. Okay. So you can just trial KB. If you like it, you can stay with it. You can go tornado shot. Tornado shot has a more expensive bow and quiver versus KB's starting gear is very cheap. For example, I bought my starting shield and my wand, which I still have, which is not even like that much worse than my current wand. Let me just show you. I bought it for 2C, and I used this wand till level 99.2. Okay, I literally used this from the moment I could use it to level I think from like 60 to like 99.2. It's fine. You don't need a better wand. A +1 spells physical spell skills wand, 2C. I bought this for 2C. Yeah, a shield, 2C as well. I was using like a driftwood shield or something, like a spell one, right? It was garbage. So with that, the KB gets you in there faster, and the TS can stack corrupting fever faster. So let's just take it from like one thing at a time. Okay, so it's not too like fragmented. If we're talking about clear, okay, so tornado shot will shoot out a projectile. It explodes right here, and then your projectiles will go out in different directions, right? And then depending on projectile speed, it can go further, right? It might be able to chain, depending on what you have there. So objectively, tornado shot has better clear, because if you add a certain level of projectile speed, you will have 360 coverage, right? Whereas the KB goes like this, like you can see from this drawing right here. That is how it spreads. So it only goes in a cone one way, okay? And I don't add chain, I don't add pierce, right? But so if you're doing a map like Muddies, right, and you have let's say you both have headers, so you're just speeding around, right? If you're doing like a Muddies, the tornado shot will clear more area, okay? However, the natural speed of a KB, right? I don't invest in projectile speed. Look at my KB. Look at my KB range. This is ultra wide, so you'll be able to see, okay? So that is my KB range. Pretty far. The projectile speed is pretty good. You can put in a TS if you want, and your TS is going to be like if you shoot a TS into that. I don't have a bow on me right now. Actually, I do have a bow. Oh, I can't use that. I don't have the stats. Okay. I was going to go equip a TS to show you what a natural TS looks like with no projectile speed. It's like bloop, bloop, bloop. And it's like very, very Asian. Very small coverage initially. So it's like, and then you need to get a helm enchant, so you don't get to like pick what other helm enchant you want, and you're more limited by, you know. So it's like, does it really have more AoE? If the KB shoots in a cone further, and the tornado shot shoots in a circle, like way bigger, if you have like projectile speed, which you will. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's not really more clear, because let me explain this. Okay, if you're actually playing this build, you're farming maps. And in maps, there's a lot of content that you're standing still for, okay? Breaches, blights, harbies, whatever, anything, right? Like, think about how long you're in a very small area where you got nothing to do. You got nothing to do anyways, okay? You're standing there anyways. Like, who cares? You're shooting, and then, so that's one scenario, right? There's too much content. You're standing in the same area anyways. Doesn't matter. You don't have more clear if you're standing in the same areas, okay? Picking up loot and shit. Then you have like maps. So you take maps like Silo. You take maps like that have like this like path where a cone covers everything, okay? If you are someone who likes to run like alleyways and stuff like that, like you don't really have more 360 because you're clearing one direction, right? Or you might be clearing one direction, going the opposite direction, back on the Scourge, right? So that makes it not really more clear, okay? So it usually goes to professionals like KB. You can try out TS if you have some extra money at the beginning of the league, but you're better off staying with KB. I think it's actually better. Now, let's talk about something else. Shield, okay? So with a shield, what can you do with shield? I don't use shield charge because I think it's clunky and I don't like that button. I like walking around. I'm more exact at picking up items without shield charge. So if you have a shield charge, right, you'll move faster, right? Or you can block things. And once again, if you get a versatile combatant and stuff like that, I mean, it can get pretty crazy, okay? So shields are very defensive and you will die less, okay? Let's just say, oh man, I don't even know what I want to say, because like people watching this video, they're not going to know the theme of like, they're not going to know like the memes, so they're going to think that this is kind of like toxic. But Grumo plays TS. Grumo plays TS. He played it for a week more than me. He league started it. I rerolled 3 times before I played this build on like day 7 or 8, and I got to level 100. Okay, I got to level 100, and I think he's level 90. He's still not level 95. So I mean, and he farms harder than me, and he plays more than me. He's got more money than me. He's got more time to play than me, and I mean, and also when I went to his profile, he was using elusive on crit and tailwind on crit boots yesterday, and I don't know if you guys know, but that shit don't work, bro. That's like having magic boots with no suffixes, because look at this. Okay, you literally can't crit. Okay, so I don't know what that was going on there, but like, that shit crazy. So I mean, I think it's easy to say that KB is objectively better. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about it. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about it. And so you can do both, but you will always, if you're looking to play this build, you don't know what you're doing, you're a new player or whatever, you're going to go KB first no matter what. So you have the option of TS later. You can try it out. If you don't like it yourself, the gear, you go back to KB. Who cares? One thing I'll say is like, it's not a full swap, whereas like some other builds are a full swap in gear. KB and TS use the exact same shit if you want. What you have to swap is you might want to take off your helm enchant, but you don't even have to, because like the KB version, you don't need a helmet enchant, so you can just keep the tornado shot enchant on there if you want, because you'll have a good like helmet, right? The weapons change, obviously, right? Obviously using a bow and a quiver versus a wand and a shield, but that's it. The amulet's the same. The chests can be the same. Rings can be the same. Belt can be the same. Shoes and gloves can be the same, right? Trinket can be the same. Flask can be the same. That's it. Okay, it will stack because there's so many projectiles and like it's like it will stack a corrupting blood faster, but like, I mean, this build as it is right now, I can kill Cyrus in under 3 minutes. Okay, so it's not so bad. Okay, that's about it. What else is there to mention about this? The build gets better the more mobs you add to the map. You want a lot of mobs like connected to each other, so that the explosions really pop off. Okay, it's pretty crazy. What map mods are not fun for this build? Like, I guess like cannot regen isn't really fun. You can actually do reflect Ellie, but I wouldn't do reflect Fizz depending on the items you have, okay? Because like this can be kind of scary. With even with like a no Fizz damage wand shooting out, right? Because like that 28 to 52, if it gets skilled by like a headhunter, it could be wet and wild, okay? Okay. POV. Oh, my POV, because I might dismantle this character. My POV will be below the stream. POV link will be below the stream of everything I'm using. And what did I not talk? Hey guys, did I not talk about anything? Is there anything I missed? About like common questions or like why I'm doing certain things? Like it's pretty standard. It's pretty standard. Pretty standard stuff. That's about it. Oh, one thing, if you want a little bit more juice, you can get this for really cheap. You can get like Abyssal Jewels with like enemies main by you take 5% more damage. That's a really good jewel that like I only knew that was a new role because people were buying it from the dump tabs. I guess that's like a cool little thing you could do. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Forgot to mention that TS is better. It's not actually better. Yeah, it is. It is soul self on viable. It is. It is. And oh, Anomalous KB. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my bad. The reason Anomalous KB is because it goes through like 2 mobs, and whereas if you don't have that, you use a jewel called a Poacher's. Is it a Poacher's Aim, which is 1 pierce? I use that to like level 92. Totally fine. Okay, but Anomalous KB is obviously better because you gain 1 jewel, and you gain 1 rare jewel, and you gain 2 pierce instead of 1. And what do you lose? You lose 10% AoE on your KB, I think, which is nothing. It doesn't matter. So that's pretty goddamn good. I guess question about Iron Will, because it's spell damage. Like you have a decent amount of strength, and if you look at this wording right here, spell damage is good. Spell damage doesn't actually I don't think it actually increases like the other stuff, but that's pretty good. Yeah, that's about it. I'd say like most importantly, if you want to feel good, right? If you really want to feel good, definitely use a Molten Shell. Molten Shell's insane. And definitely try to get the pierce though. Like try make sure you have at least 1 pierce, okay? And make sure that you get Chow's res. Oh, yeah. The build started to feel really good when you got Chow's res. Okay. Flasks. I forgot to talk about flasks. Okay, Chow's res is really good because it saves you against delirium and other certain hits. If you accidentally stand a caustic box, which has an explosion at the beginning, right? And other things. It felt really, really good once I got a little bit of Chow's res. You only need like 0 or positive. Okay, don't be like -60. That sucks. Okay, flasks. This one is really good because although I have a corrupting blood jewel, right? If I get this one, you get 3 uses. You can get more recovery rate, right? Or more amount recovered at the cost of the charges, I think. And I thought that like having 3 uses was really sick. I tried the 2 until like level 90 something, but I really like the 3. Okay, so that's really sick. Get one of these. Like this block is really good. And it's armor as well. That's pretty sick. This is just a you can use anything here. I mean, you can get the old Alchemist Quicksilver of Adrenaline. It's not called Adrenaline. It's called like something else, Acceleration or something. But you can use any Quicksilver here. Just make sure you have a Quicksilver. Okay, make sure you have a Quicksilver. Then I'm using a Silver Flask because I don't have like any other form of Onslaught. So I would say this is a tier 3 roll. This suffix is OP because if you take Ugol, I guess Pantheon's right because I have Cannot Be Frozen here. If you take Ugol, what you're gonna see is like it's 30% reduced effective curses on the maps, which is really nice. Okay, super nice. And then you take that 30 and you pair it with a jewel. You can find jewels with like 10% reduction of curse, but you don't need that. I just got like an extra one because I thought it was cool. But like this thing goes really high. Like I don't know what the tier 1 is, but it probably goes to like 60%, right? So you're pretty much immune. If you can get like a tier 2 or like a tier 1 of this suffix, right? Look at that. Reduced effective curses during flask effect. This is insane. I didn't even know that this exists until like level 90. And so you pair that with like, let's say you get like 60 plus 30, right? You get one on a jewel. And so when your flask is up, you're like pretty much popping off. That's really nice. And then, yeah, this is just some movement speed. Tier 1 here. I really like the Iron Flask actually. Iron Flask and Molten Shell. Woo! Felt good. Felt good. Yesterday I fought a Minotaur, like a clean Minotaur, and he hit me through my Molten Shell. He hit me for like I think 200 damage with his like, you know, his. So it's good. It's just good. All right, that's it. What else? Did I miss anything else? I took 2 skill points here because you don't have any issues with resist. Yeah, this is I do this for Cyrus. I'll take this. And the reason is because like Cyrus, this doesn't help against Cyrus, this Ugol node, but this thing does right here, Rislotha, because like I just gained free charges in case I need to smash this earlier, and it's just for the life last. That's it. But you don't have to. The Cyrus is pretty easy. All right, that's it, guys. That's the video, guys. If you got this far, this is like a 2-hour video, guys. This is a 2-hour video, boys. Wow. Like and subscribe to the video if you got this far. Okay. And comment below if you think TS is better or KB is better. Now, you better not get this wrong. I'm going to ban you guys if you guys get this wrong. But underneath this YouTube video, type if Tornado Shot or KB is better. Spoiler alert, if you're not retarded, it's KB. That's it. If you have any more questions, twitch.tv/cutedog_. Stream every day, 8 o'clock p.m. Chicago time. Yep. And that's it. That's the video. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.